The story of Tendrils of Flesh revolves around the main character, Marco. He works at a slaughterhouse, but he's been working at this since he was a little kid, basically. So, the entire thing about this slaughterhouse that makes it different is that he isn't killing animals anymore, he's killing people. The reason behind this is that animals started developing a disease that made them inedible, and if you were scratched or bit by one, you would basically get the disease and die. So, the government decided to transition from animals to people. So now there are specially bred people that are eaten and consumed and used for leather and all that great stuff. So Marco works at a slaughterhouse and he kills, or well, doesn't really kill people, but he he's the right hand man, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So him being the right hand man, he does trips around, makes sure that all of his suppliers are good and all that stuff. He's technically the best in the market. So now that people are the main consumption source, while he's doing his rounds, he is given a head, which is what they call them. They call the people that are bred for consumption heads. He's given a head that's basic. It's like a rare woman. So it's like the most specialized kind of person, I guess, and like best skin for leather use and most delicate, taste the best, whatever you want to call it. So he is given a girl that is top tier, and since they can't talk because when they're young they get their vocal cords ripped out, so that they can't like scream or anything. And so he's given this girl, and at first he doesn't really know what to do with her, but as time goes on, he starts taking care of her, all that stuff, and he starts getting feelings for her. While this is happening, he still has his job, but he seems to be less interested in it. His dad is in like a old folks home because his dad is losing it. So while his dad is in an old folks home, he's taking care of this girl. His sister is trying to get information on how to start raising head and all that stuff so that she can, I guess, have her like own farm of them. And while this is happening, his dad dies, and then like everything just comes crashing straight down for him. So while his dad is dead, he ends up like in between him going to work and his sister asking him and his dad dying, he actually gets the girl pregnant, and that's like against the law big time. That's really bad. So uh instead of like turning himself in and all that stuff, he decides to keep her because he has a wife and he had a kid, but his kid had died, so that he wouldn't eat like meat anymore because his kid died. So uh, now that he got that girl pregnant, he thinks that he can try again until it starts going wrong, and he ends up calling his old wife, which she's technically still his wife. He ends up calling her to come save the kid, and then ends up killing the girl that he got pregnant. And his dad dies like before this, and his sister wants to have a funeral, and he's in possession of the ashes. So he spreads the ashes at the zoo that him and his dad used to go to all the time, and where his dad loved to be, and then replace the ashes with like zoo mulch, and give it back to his sister for the funeral for a little while, and then took it back with him. And then all this stuff with the girl happened where he got her pregnant and he's trying to save her, and he ends up killing the girl, and then I'm pretty sure afterwards he and his girlfriend or wife or whatever decide to raise the kid. And that's basically a basic rundown of Tender is the Flesh. Okay. Marco is the main character of Tender is the Flesh. And throughout the book, he seems to be getting worse and worse. So, at the beginning of the book, he seems like he's got it together, kind of, but his dad is in a old house, so he is worried about his dad all the time, and his sister seems like she isn't really worried about their dad and doesn't really care for him, but he definitely does care for his dad. Another thing is that after he starts kind of getting with the girl that he was given, he does seem to care less about work and more about going home to be with that girl. And he has cameras and everything set up so that he can monitor what she's doing, make sure she doesn't hurt herself. He has her locked in a room most of the time. And he also goes to the zoo a lot to relive like memories from when he was a kid before the disease and stuff, even though it's like mostly like they advise that you don't go to the zoo. And he also does not care for a lot of the people that he sells or like buys head from because of certain attributes they have. Like he sells head to hunters, which kill them for sport. He also doesn't care for a couple of his, like the people bringing it to him or the people that he connects through it. And he does it for the money because it pays the bills, not because he really wants to. He also likes that his boss is less of a like talking person and more of get this done, get paid. His main thing throughout the book is trying to make sure that his dad is okay because he bought the best nursing home he could get for him. Make sure that they are on good terms with his dad, that they're taking care of him. Gets like daily calls from his dad's caretaker. And he doesn't really care for other people. He seems to be less motivated to go out and do things. He just does them because he has to. That's basically all of Marco's character. All in all, I do believe that Tender is the Flesh is a really good book and kind of shows how really, like, depending on how desperate somebody is for something, they would do anything for it. In this case, they were looking for a food source to replace animals, because they weren't getting the nutrients from the plants. They did eventually swap over to people, even though they are people. Another thing is that I feel like the book kind of handled Marco good because he was in like emotional turmoil after losing his kid and his dad and all that stuff. Then he starts recovering because of this girl that the head that he started doing, and then eventually he's broken over the fact that he might lose that kid, and then ends up deciding to raise the kid with his wife instead of by himself or with the head. So in the end, I do believe that the author handled this book really well. I think that there were some topics in there that could have been done a little bit differently, maybe, but other than that, I think it was a really good book. That's all. Bye.